This appears right before everything changes for you. Something inside you has started to stir. You can feel it even if you can't explain it. A quiet restlessness, a tension that isn't fear but awareness. It's as if reality is shifting slightly, like a signal trying to reach you through static. What you're sensing isn't confusion. It's alignment, a deeper current moving beneath the noise of ordinary life. You're receiving information from the version of yourself that already lives in the reality you've been asking for. This feeling isn't random. It's not exhaustion or frustration. It's expansion disguised as uncertainty. Most people ignore this moment. They think something is wrong when everything starts to feel unfamiliar. But this is the point where your energy begins to recalibrate, where your mind and body start adjusting to the frequency of your next level. What you're feeling is the system of your reality updating itself. The truth is, growth rarely feels peaceful at first. It often feels like standing on unsteady ground, while everything around you rearranges. But that instability is sacred. It's the moment your consciousness begins to loosen its grip on old patterns. The old story is dissolving, and a new one is forming right under your feet. You're not breaking down, you're breaking through. Think about what happens right before sunrise. The world feels still and heavy, shadows stretch long, and it's hard to tell if light is coming or fading. That's where you are, the space between what was and what's becoming. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's also the most creative space in the universe. In that in-between, you're no longer limited by the logic of who you were. You're beginning to operate from the intelligence of who you're becoming. Quantum manifestation begins here, not in trying to force an outcome, but in learning to recognize the signals of transformation. The thoughts, dreams, and impulses that seem strange or out of place are actually messages from your future timeline. They're guiding you toward choices that match your higher vibration. Every time you trust those impulses, you strengthen the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to be. Most people call this stage confusion. You'll know it as calibration, because that's exactly what's happening. You're learning how to exist at a higher frequency, and your outer world hasn't caught up yet. That's why certain people, routines, or environments suddenly feel heavy. It's not that they've changed. It's that your resonance has. You can't return to the old frequency anymore, no matter how safe it feels. You might notice your body responding differently too. Your sleep, your energy, even the foods you crave are shifting. That's not random. Your body is matching the new information your consciousness is transmitting. When your thoughts change, your cells respond. The fatigue, the bursts of energy, the waves of emotion, these are signs of integration. Your biology is catching up with your vibration. Science calls it neuroplasticity. Spirit calls it awakening. Either way, you're being rewired for expansion. Your brain is forming new neural pathways to match the reality you've been visualizing. Your heart is learning coherence. Your emotions are learning to sustain frequencies of gratitude, trust, and flow. This isn't about perfection. It's about permission. Permission to let yourself evolve without trying to control what that looks like. The truth is, transformation never happens on your schedule. It happens when you're ready to handle what you've been asking for. That's what this strange restlessness means. You're ready, even if your mind says you're not. The signal you're feeling is your future self, knocking at the door of your present moment, asking you to open. The more you trust that call, the faster reality rearranges to meet you there. This isn't motivation. This is activation, the point where inspiration turns into alignment, where the idea of who you could be starts becoming your actual experience. You're not waiting for the universe to notice you. You are the universe realizing itself through you, and that realization changes everything. Take a breath right now and remember this. Nothing is falling apart. Everything is falling into place. The discomfort you feel isn't a setback. It's a signal, the one that appears right before everything changes for you. What's happening now isn't chaos. It's coherence forming itself in ways your logical mind can't yet understand. You're standing in a moment where the old ways of operating no longer work, and that's exactly what's supposed to happen. The habits, reactions, and stories that once kept you safe are now too small for the person you're becoming. That resistance you feel isn't failure. It's expansion pressing against the edges of your old identity. Your consciousness is learning to operate in a new way. You're moving from reaction to creation, from effort to energy, and the shift can feel disorienting because it's unfamiliar. Your nervous system has been wired for survival, not possibility. But you're teaching it something new. You're teaching it what safety feels like in abundance, what ease feels like in growth, what calm feels like in uncertainty. Quantum manifestation isn't about forcing the universe to bend to your will. It's about aligning your frequency with the outcome you desire so completely that reality can't help but match it. It's not magic, it's mechanics. The same way tuning forks vibrate together when struck, your thoughts and emotions create a vibration that attracts experiences resonating at the same frequency. The clearer your signal, the faster your alignment becomes visible in physical form. You've probably felt moments where everything flowed effortlessly, where you thought of someone and they called, where the right opportunity appeared at the perfect time. Those weren't coincidences. They were reflections. Reality responding to your coherence. Every emotion, every belief, every moment of attention sends a ripple through the field of possibility. That field listens. It rearranges itself according to the vibration you sustain most consistently. But here's what most people miss. You can't fake frequency. You can't pretend gratitude when fear is running the show. You can't speak abundance while still identifying with lack. The quantum field responds to your state, not your words. It listens to your energy more than your intentions. That's why inner work isn't optional. It's the foundation of manifestation. Your thoughts create the blueprint. Your emotions supply the energy. Your actions anchor the result into the physical world. All three must align. When you think high vibrational thoughts but act from doubt, the signal weakens. When you take inspired action without emotional alignment, it fizzles. But when thought, emotion, and action move in harmony, the field reorganizes instantly. You're not manifesting from scratch. You're remembering how reality actually works. You've done this countless times already. Every change you've ever made began the same way, by imagining something different and aligning with it long enough for it to become real. The only difference now is awareness. You're doing it consciously. The confusion, the tiredness, the emotional surges, they're symptoms of recalibration. Your system is learning how to hold higher energy without collapsing into old defense patterns. This is why rest is essential. Integration happens in stillness. When you pause, your energy field consolidates the upgrades. Your mind tries to fill the silence, but the silence is where the rewiring occurs. Right now, your perception of time might feel strange. Some days move fast, others stretch endlessly. That's because time bends around consciousness. When you expand awareness, time stops being linear. You experience more of it in every moment. That's why sudden clarity can feel eternal, while long days of uncertainty vanish like they never happened. The people around you might not understand what's happening. They might tell you to slow down, to be realistic, to stay grounded. They mean well, but they're speaking from the reality they know. You're already standing in the doorway of another one. The discomfort isn't about leaving them behind. It's about honoring your new vibration while holding compassion for those still adjusting to theirs. This process requires trust. Not blind faith, but energetic trust, the knowing that reality is always listening. Every time you choose peace over panic, you're sending a signal of coherence. Every time you act from alignment rather than fear, you strengthen the frequency of your future. Trust is the bridge between imagination and manifestation. It's not passive, it's powerful. When you stop fighting the process, everything begins to move with grace. You'll notice how effortlessly opportunities appear, how solutions seem to find you. That's coherence in action. That's what happens when your energy and your intention merge into one field of clarity. It's the moment your inner reality becomes the master frequency that shapes your outer world. So if things feel uncertain right now, remember this. You're not lost. You're being tuned. What feels like waiting is actually building momentum. What feels like emptiness is expansion, making space for what's next. The universe isn't silent. It's speaking in the language of energy, and you're finally learning to hear it. This is where transformation deepens, where the person you've been begins to dissolve, and the person you're becoming starts to take shape. Every thought, every feeling, every choice is a brushstroke painting the version of you that already exists in the quantum field. You're not chasing that version. You're matching it. Keep going. Keep trusting. Keep aligning. This is the part where everything inside you starts remembering how powerful you've always been. This is the turning point. The moment when your inner transformation begins to echo in your outer world. You'll notice small things first. Conversations that feel lighter, unexpected invitations, subtle opportunities that seem to appear out of nowhere. These are not coincidences. They're confirmations, evidence that your frequency has changed and reality is rearranging to match it. But this stage requires awareness. It's easy to slip back into old stories when new energy starts moving. Your mind will try to interpret what's happening through the lens of the past. It will call it luck, timing, or accident. Don't let it shrink what's actually unfolding. You are witnessing the first signs of alignment. The field is responding to you. You are no longer waiting for proof. You are becoming the proof. Emotion is the key to sustaining this new vibration. Every emotion carries a specific signal. Joy, gratitude, love, and trust all create coherence. Fear, doubt, and resentment create static. The more consistent your emotional frequency, the stronger your manifestation field becomes. That doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. It means mastering them, allowing them to flow without resistance, while choosing not to build stories around them. You've probably noticed how fast energy moves now. One thought can change your entire mood. One choice can shift the direction of a day. That's because you're operating with greater sensitivity. Your system is fine-tuned. The distance between thought and experience is shrinking. The lag between energy and manifestation is dissolving. That's why awareness matters more than ever. You're shaping reality in real time. There will still be moments when the old patterns try to pull you back. When self-doubt whispers louder than clarity, that's not regression. That's integration. The mind is testing the strength of your new identity. It wants to know if you truly mean it this time. Don't fight those moments. Observe them. Each time you choose awareness over reaction, you rewrite the code of your consciousness. You show the universe that the new pattern is stable. Quantum manifestation isn't about perfection. It's about coherence. Coherence doesn't mean everything feels easy. It means everything is aligned. Even challenges serve the process. When something doesn't go as planned, it's not punishment. It's feedback. It's the field showing you where your energy still wavers. Instead of asking, why isn't this working? Start asking, what is this teaching me about my vibration? That single shift turns frustration into power. Your intuition will grow stronger now. You'll feel guidance in moments that seem ordinary. A nudge to call someone. A sudden urge to go somewhere different. A quiet thought that doesn't feel like your own. These are signals from your expanded awareness, guiding you toward resonance. Follow them. Logic will catch up later. The path won't always make sense in the beginning, but it always leads you where you need to be. Relationships may start changing too. Some will deepen quickly. Others will fade quietly. Not because anyone did something wrong, but because alignment is real. Frequency determines connection. As you rise in vibration, your reality reorganizes to match it. Some people are part of your old frequency. Others belong to your new one. Let them go with love. Make space for those who can meet you where you're headed. You might find yourself craving solitude more often. Not isolation, but space. Space to listen, space to feel, space to integrate. In silence, you connect with the field directly. You stop trying to make things happen and start allowing them to unfold. This is where manifestation becomes magnetic. You attract without chasing. You create without forcing. You align and let the energy do the rest. It's important to remember that energy flows where attention goes. Every time you focus on what you don't want, you strengthen that vibration. Every time you focus on what you desire, you amplify its presence. The universe doesn't hear your words. It reads your frequency. So speak your vision through feeling, not just through thought. Live as if it's already done. Move as if it's already true. That's how you bridge the unseen and the seen. The signs will multiply when you stay consistent. Repeating numbers, perfect timing, random encounters that shift your direction completely. These aren't just patterns. They're synchronicities, signals of coherence between your inner and outer world. Each one is a reminder that reality is alive and interactive. The field is listening to you, and you are learning how to listen back. In this stage, self-trust becomes your greatest tool, not the kind of trust that needs proof, but the kind that knows the proof is coming. You've practiced control your entire life. Now you're practicing surrender. That's the difference between forcing and allowing. When you let go of the how, you invite the flow. You create the conditions for reality to surprise you in ways logic never could. The emotions you feel now are part of your manifestation language. Gratitude signals completion. Excitement signals readiness. Calm signals embodiment. When you start feeling peace about what you once worried about, it's already aligning. The energy has shifted from potential to probability. You don't need to chase it anymore. It's on its way. Reality bends where belief stabilizes. So keep your belief anchored, even when appearances suggest nothing's happening. Remember the pattern. First the feeling, then the frequency, then the form. Every creation begins in the unseen before showing up in the physical. Most people give up before that bridge is complete. You're not one of them. You're learning to hold the frequency long enough for it to crystallize. You'll feel waves of clarity during this phase, moments when everything suddenly makes sense. When you understand why every delay, every disappointment, every detour happened exactly as it needed to. Those moments are glimpses of your higher awareness stabilizing in your human experience. You're merging timelines. You're becoming multidimensional in your awareness. You're no longer reacting to life. You're co-creating with it. So stay present, stay curious, stay grounded in trust. The shift isn't coming, it's happening. You can feel it in your breath, in your thoughts, in the quiet certainty that something extraordinary is unfolding. You're not just manifesting a new reality. You're becoming the kind of person who can sustain it. And that changes everything. You've reached the threshold where awareness becomes embodiment, the point where understanding turns into living truth. Everything you've learned, everything you've felt, everything you've released, it's all led you here. This is where the new reality starts to stabilize, where manifestation becomes natural, where you stop searching for signs because you've become one. The field around you has changed. It feels lighter, clearer, more responsive. You think a thought and notice the world answering back. You speak a truth, and opportunities appear to confirm it. This isn't coincidence. This is coherence fully formed. You've trained your energy to broadcast a new frequency, and the universe is reflecting it back with precision. You no longer need to chase alignment. You are alignment. You no longer wait for validation. You are validation. You are living proof that inner transformation reshapes outer reality. Every choice you've made from trust instead of fear has rewritten the code of your experience. You can feel it. The energy that once felt uncertain now feels stable, confident, alive. The people you attract now recognize your vibration instantly. They're drawn not to what you say, but to what you radiate. You'll notice conversations shift. Interactions feel easier. Creative ideas flow faster. Life begins to cooperate with your intention instead of resisting it. This is what harmony with the field feels like. You're no longer moving against the current. You're moving with it. But this level of creation carries responsibility. When you understand that your thoughts, emotions, and focus shape reality, you become deliberate with your attention. You stop feeding fear with energy. You stop arguing for your limitations. You begin to speak from expansion rather than defense. Every word becomes a command to the field. Every feeling becomes a frequency you send out into existence. You start choosing consciously what kind of energy you want to amplify. The small miracles appearing each day aren't accidents. They're indicators that you're maintaining coherence. The more you acknowledge them, the more they multiply. Gratitude acts like acceleration. When you appreciate the shift expands. When you celebrate small alignments, larger ones form effortlessly. The universe responds to acknowledgement. It listens when you notice. There will still be moments that challenge your balance, not because you're falling back, but because you're leveling up. Each new vibration asks for deeper presence. The test isn't in avoiding contrast, it's in staying conscious through it. When uncertainty arises, breathe. When emotions surge, observe. When old patterns echo, thank them and release them. You've mastered awareness. You no longer need to be ruled by reaction. Your body has learned this rhythm too. It senses energy before your mind names it. It knows what environments nourish your growth. It pulls away from what drains your frequency. Trust those signals. Your body is the antenna of your consciousness. It translates vibration into experience. Treat it as your partner, not your project. The clearer you keep it, the stronger your connection to the field. This is also the stage where purpose begins to clarify. You start realizing that your personal growth was never just personal. Every time you expanded, you contributed to the collective frequency of possibility. You're part of a larger pattern, a network of consciousness learning to create with intention. The clarity you carry now helps others find their way faster. Your vibration becomes instruction. Your work, your relationships, your creativity, all of it now serves as channels for expression rather than validation. You no longer need success to prove worth. You express worth and success follows naturally. This is freedom, the freedom to create without fear, to speak without approval, to live without waiting. You're not trying to become someone anymore. You're allowing who you are to be seen. This realization changes how you move through time. You stop rushing. You start flowing. Each moment feels full because you're fully present within it. You understand that the future isn't coming to you. It's forming from you. Every thought, every emotion, every intention becomes architecture for what appears next. And because you're aware, you shape it consciously. This awareness doesn't make you separate from the world. It makes you more connected to it. You see the same events differently. What once felt random now feels deliberate. What once seemed chaotic now feels intelligent. You recognize patterns in everything. Synchronicities become language. Life speaks, and you understand the tone. The transformation that once felt uncertain has become your new foundation. You trust yourself in ways you never could before. You know that clarity always follows confusion, that expansion always follows discomfort, that alignment always follows surrender. You stop fearing the unknown because you've learned it always brings more of you forward. The identity you once defended no longer fits. You've outgrown the version of yourself that needed control, approval, or proof. What remains is awareness itself, calm, clear, capable of navigating any frequency. You've become fluent in the language of creation. You've learned that reality bends to coherence, not chaos. That energy follows intention, not effort. That life responds to openness, not force. So now as you stand here, take a moment to feel it. The peace, the clarity, the quiet knowing that everything you've desired is already forming around you. You can sense it, the ease in your chest, the stillness behind your thoughts. That's alignment. That's the feeling of being fully synchronized with your highest timeline. This isn't the end of your transformation. It's the beginning of conscious creation. You've moved from waiting to participating, from hoping to knowing. You no longer chase signals from your future self. You've become that signal. Every action, every thought, every word you speak transmits possibility. You are no longer asking reality to change. You are the change it responds to. Remember this moment whenever you feel uncertainty again. Remember that growth often arrives disguised as discomfort. Remember that silence often carries the loudest messages. And remember that everything you've been through has led you to the awareness you hold now. You are not lost. You are not late. You are aligned. The signal you once searched for was never outside of you. It was always within you, waiting for you to notice. This appears right before everything changes for you, because it already has.